Steve Bowers welcoming you to Dialogue here at E+ TV6 on a conversation with Dr. Marlon King, who is the Director of Schools, Superintendent of Education, Jackson-Madison County School System. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
What is the appropriate title? I mean, we still say Superintendent here. Some say Director of Schools.
I've been calling it Superintendent for a while, so it doesn't matter. But honestly, I tell people, just call me the coach.
Okay.
I'm just a coach. I just like to help people and make sure that I give the right play so we can execute well and do great things for people.
All right. Go back to your background. You got into education when? How?
Oh, my God. So it goes back to probably even in the late 90s.
Okay.
Started out as a substitute teacher.
Is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
Started out as a substitute teacher, started at the teacher assistant level.
And you were where?
I started in Haywood County, Brownsville.
Okay.
Yeah. And just went from there to a teacher, principal, superintendent, State Department, superintendent.
Okay.
And so
you went to Fayette County?
Went to Fayette County in 2000. Well, actually, I went to Fayette County in 2004.
Okay.
As a principal.
Principal, okay.
And I served there, and I worked in two different schools, Northwest Elementary School and Central Elementary School. And then I went from there to the superintendency in Haywood County, where I'm from. And from Haywood County, I went to the Department of Education to do some work region-wide. And then I left the department and went back to Fayette County as superintendent.
Okay.
And now I'm here in Jackson-Madison County.
What attracted you to the position here?
So, Steve, I think I took, I have been one who like challenges. You know, I get bored easily, and if I don't have a challenge in something that's really gritty, I don't, I don't do well unless I have challenges. And I saw this community as a child, and as a child I saw all the great things that always happen in Jackson. So when you live in a small rural community, particularly outside of, in West Tennessee, you have either Memphis or Jackson. Yeah, and so being in Brownsville, you know, Jackson was our next stop. And so I would see all of the great things happening in Jackson. And I saw the school system, and back then, it was very hard to get a teaching position in Jackson. It was very locked, and they were doing very well, doing a lot of great things. And I thought, then I saw, fast forward, I saw some things that were, I saw some challenges, and I thought, you know, Jackson has the potential to do great work. I thought about just our Western region and how Jackson could really speak to so many families. And you have an HBCU in your backyard, Lane College, and you've seen a lot of teachers of color come out of Lane College. There's so many opportunities here in Jackson. I thought, you know, I think that is a challenge that I want, because I felt like people didn't believe, or people didn't have hope. And I knew that given an opportunity and being able to work with people, that we could do some great things here in Jackson and just restore what Jackson was in the past.
Okay. So you come here then with the understanding that there are challenges here.
Oh, absolutely.
But then that Jackson could take a leadership position.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I think with Blue Oval and everything that's coming in here, it puts us right back in the center of what's going on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so what were the challenges you saw?
So, Steve, I took about a year out, and I read the Jackson Sun. I looked at audits. I looked at the budget. I just talked to people and just did a lot of discovery and just finding out, okay, let me just get all the qualitative data and then find some emerging themes from what I collected. And what I saw was, I saw challenges where the board needed to be more unified. I will say, even in my research and studying, the board has been a board of the year. The board has done great work in the past. And recently, I just saw some, I think, breakdown in communication with the board. And I thought, well, you know, that's an area that I would love to work to make sure that we develop board members to make sure that they govern the right way and do things for kids. I saw academic challenges. I thought, you know, I see where the system isn't making the growth standard that they should be making. I saw consistently where you only had, the district was a level 1 district. You saw schools that would perform particularly Madison and early college. You did see those schools continue to make those strides, but there are so many other schools, I think, that had the potential to do well. I saw something that was very alarming, Steve, and that was the teacher salaries. The starting salary for teachers with 0 years of experience was like ranked number 108 in the state. And I was just like,
Considering our financial resources, that seems unacceptable.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
compared to
Absolutely.
so many other counties.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So coming in here, you hit the ground running 3 years. Of course, coming in with COVID.
Coming in, yes.
Coming with COVID. All
Yes,
right.
coming
So
in.
what do you point to now as indicative of say, okay, here are the areas that I see where we have made progress?
I think for sure the board has done phenomenal work. When we started,
Board meetings are not nearly as lengthy as they used to be.
No.
I don't know about the work sessions, but
the work sessions are a little longer than board meetings.
Right.
But what I've seen, where a board, where there were breakdown in communication and challenges, most recently the board was named Board of Distinction by the Tennessee School Board. Tennessee School
you meet
Boards
with them
Association.
individually prior to
I meet with them individually. We have board briefings, and this is an opportunity for us to have that one-on-one engagement.
Right.
And so if there are things that we are discussing or things that will be on the agenda, maybe a board member still have reservation or has reservation about, this might be an item that we probably need to table if there's a consensus where a lot of board members are not, understanding a particular action item that's on the agenda. But not only that, it has allowed us to build a relationship, but even more importantly, a friendship. And so I think one thing there is just, being not necessarily the working relationship, but the friendship that where we can call and we can text each other, and we find out our focus is kids.
Right.
So that has been that's been really improvement. And then when we look, Steve, a district that has been a level 1 district as identified by
level
the
1
state.
district is the lowest, is that?
Yeah, level 1 would be significantly below growth standard for the state. And a level 5 would be significantly above. And so within the short amount of time, we've become a level 5 district.
Wow.
And that shows where teachers have actually, and leaders have actually really pushed the lever really hard to make things happen for kids. And so when you talk about the levels, the level talks about growth, not necessarily achievement.
Right.
And so it means that, hey, look, I might have not finished the finish line, but hey, I wasn't still at the baseline. I did make some headway down the road. And
So it's a measure of progress.
yes.
Okay.
And what's also, I think, that's a standout and that's just unprecedented is the fact that we have 9 reward schools. Now, reward schools are different from just level 5 schools. We have 12 level 5 schools and 4 level 4 schools, which is unheard of in the system. But what is unique, we have 9 reward schools, meaning that not only did you grow, but also you achieved. So you did both of them. So this is the highest designation a school can get in the state. And we have 9 schools, and we have early college high, Madison Academic, Northeast Middle, Pope Elementary, Thelma Barker, South, East, Isaac Lane, and Alexander.
Okay.
And so when you think
it's
about
a cross section.
when you think about at a reward school, the highest designation, that tells you that people are really working hard to make it right and get it right. It's just been exciting. Our ACT scores have improved, and so we are just seeing just continued successes in the area of academics.
Right. Marlon King is with us. He's the Superintendent of Education of the Jackson-Madison County School System. We'll continue this dialogue in just a moment at E+ TV 6.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Action!
Welcome back to Dialogue at ePlus TV6 as we continue our conversation with Dr. Marlon King, who is the Superintendent of Schools. Jackson-Madison County School System is in his third year with our system as we do this in early 2023. You outlined recently for the board the plans that you see as far as facilities, which are pretty extensive plans. We're at work on Pope Elementary, and it's running into, I don't know, would you say it's running into glitches or challenges?
Yeah, we have some glitches there.
Transportation access is going to be a challenge out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in 2020, the fall of 2020, after, as I mentioned, I did the research and I shared things that I think that were meaningful to people. One of the things we did, we initiated what we call a community unity plan, and this plan touched every part of this community. So one of the initiatives was restoring Melissa's, and then that was South Jackson. In North Jackson, it was Pope Elementary School, and then in East Jackson, we talked about having a stadium and also restoring the central office on the old campus of Madison. So we wanted to have a connection, everybody to have some type of part, and so we called it community unity. And we are really excited about the progress that we're making in these three areas. I mean,
well, one thing that was amazing is the Pope School was approved unanimously by the board and by the county commission.
Absolutely.
Which, that doesn't happen often. Not on a major project, anyway.
You're exactly right.
And Melissa's is now going to be a tech center, is that?
It will be a STEM Innovation Center.
Okay, STEM.
Yeah, we had a forum last evening, and we had a packed house, 65 plus people. Commissioner Arnold pulled in many of our stakeholders. Our team was there just to talk about kind of the vision and kind of lay out some things that would happen, and also get feedback, from our stakeholders. We want to hear. I always tell people, we're not perfect, and we're going to make mistakes, but we're working hard to do the right thing. And if you see where we make mistakes, tell us, because we're not above saying forgive us, we apologize. We want to get it right. So we had a great evening last evening there. There are several meetings for what I call Hub City Central, which will be where Old Madison, which will be the central office, I want it to be a service center. Our football stadium, which will be used for all of our schools with a regulated track field. And then we're going to put some emphasis on Oman, but more of the emphasis, and I think more of our revenue is going to go towards our football stadium, because we think that is going to be a major win there, and we have an opportunity to include our regulated track field and just so many things that we can do there, I think so. But we will touch up and spruce some things up in Oman, but we're not going to have the bulk of our money in Oman, because we feel like that we will see more opportunities for students and the community on the field, and as well as the central office service center. I want it to be where families can come, we can have adult literacy, we can have computer lab for the community, a parent resource center, a cafe for the community. I just want it to be a service hub, just not an administrative office where you're doing just administrative work.
Okay. What is the timetable for this?
So we are in the bid proposal process for the central office, but however, for Oman and the football stadium, that has already begun. So we're looking at hopefully to close this out in 18 months, if not sooner. Wow. So we'll be excited. And
to start construction, or?
Construction should start in the next couple of months, maybe after we get a couple of.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So we're excited about moving the dirt there and making things happen there. We had to rethink just kind of how we were going to shift revenues. At first, we had more money poured into Oman, and then we really thought about that, and we kind of shifted that some and moving that towards the stadium, but also moving some of that money towards more advanced technology in the classroom for students.
The money is going to, do you have the money?
Well, we're using ESSER dollars.
Okay.
And so that is fortunate that we have.
Well, I know my friend Arthur Johnson the other day at the county commission meeting said, "You got 48 million, right?" Everybody understands it. As long as everybody understands that, I think he said we're tapped out.
This is exactly right.
Like I said on the county commission, I shared with you. I said when Arthur Johnson stands to speak, it's like E.F. Hutton. I listen. I listen.
That's right. Yeah.
So the revenue is in place.
Revenue is in place.
And everything else. The situation, back to Pope just for a moment, on the traffic congestion and all out there, there are different plans or proposals to meet that, because it does change things. And also the question came up, is there going to be other utilization of what is Pope now?
Yeah, so the discussion for what is Pope now, we are just probably at the infancy. We have not really landed on like what would that look like in the future. Right. I think just getting the new Pope off the ground and moving some dirt and just, I guess, juggling the challenges that we have now, those things have been more the priority for us. But we are very hopeful that we can get through these challenges and provide a space for those students in a pre-K 8 space like none before out there in that area. I had an opportunity to visit Pope School with Principal Val, who's doing a great job, and saw the teachers who are working really, really hard and students who are working hard. And I was looking at the condition of the school, and I was wondering, these teachers aren't complaining, the principal isn't complaining. And I know that the conditions that they are struggling with, that we could do better. Yeah, we could do better. And so I'm excited about that space and that building going up for that community, not only for that community, just for our community as a whole in Jackson and Madison County.
Okay. Let's talk about the students. When you go through a board meeting, I used to cover them a lot, and we're all there to help the students, right? You go through 90 different things. It could be anything from cafeteria menus to transportation to whatever back in the days, plus all the other infighting we're having. And I thought, well, if you're on the Board of Education, you're there to help the children, but then by the time you get through an agenda, right, of 50 items or whatever, it's like, did we do anything tonight to further this agenda? These students that are in the hands of all of us in this county. Yeah. And what's happening with them and where we go from here. We still hear challenges about reading. The state of Tennessee is trying to address right now what happens third grade and all this other stuff. How are we doing out there?
I'm very encouraged with our results across the board when we talk about literacy, and we have seen some improvements in reading. We could do better in the area of mathematics, and I think oftentimes people think our greatest struggle or greatest need would be in literacy, but it's actually in numeracy, in mathematics. And we're making incremental progress in that area. This past year, we hired 3 reading coordinators, RTI coordinators, to lead this work in reading. My background is in literacy. My doctorate is in reading, and I have seen the power of reading and what it does for people. And one of the things that I want to make sure is that we have a really solid reading program across the board, particularly starting from pre-kindergarten all the way to our 8th grade, because we find challenges in our middle school. And so, as a matter of fact, at our principals meeting tomorrow, our 3 reading coordinators will be presenting to principals around the data that we see in reading this past year, some trends that we see, and what would the plan be moving forward next year as we address our reading and what we're doing in our main instruction and also what we're doing in our instruction for intervention. So reading is a very complex subject. It's very complex, and I mean, and you also have to, what I find is that we have to provide solid, ongoing professional development for our teachers. We have to. It's a must.
Marlon King is with us. He's Superintendent of Education of the Jackson-Madison County School System. We'll continue this dialogue right here at E+ TV6.
What this place needs is better graduation rates.
What this place needs is less childhood obesity.
What this place needs is free help with taxes.
What this place needs is healthy breakfast.
What this place needs is fitness programs for kids.
What this place needs is early readers.
What this place needs is mentors for teens.
What this place needs is people to join us. What this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back to Dialogue at E+TV6. Dr. Marlon King is with us. He's Superintendent of Education in the Jackson-Madison County School System. Because of the incident in Nashville, it's heightened, but Nashville is just one of many. There's concern about safety in school. There's protecting students from students in some cases, protecting teachers from students in some cases, back and forth, all these different things, and then just the security of facilities. If we were designing everything brand new, we would design them differently today. I know a former administrator at Northside, I forgot how many doors he said you could get into on that campus. We built them differently in those days, different day and time. So where do we go with this?
Yeah. First, it's so unfortunate what we've experienced and what we've seen last week with the Nashville situation, and that that always like resonate with you. One of the things I want to make certain is that we provide a safe environment for our families. That's a priority for me. Educating kids is the second thing. I want when families send their babies and their children to school, I want us to return them home. And one of the things we've done over the past couple of years, we had a partnership with our local law enforcement, our sheriff department. We have Max Guard deputies in our building, and also we have our in-house. So we have kind of three buckets of people that are helping us in terms of providing security for our school system. So we provide security at our high school with 2 SROs, and even in our middle school. We do have a floating security that are floating to our elementary schools, because our goal is to have a security guard in all of our schools. We have installed metal detectors, mobile metal detectors in our building, and so that we're making sure on the front end that we're trying to put in safety measures to make certain that things aren't getting in our building that are not safe for kids. Safety is always a tough issue, because if somebody wants to do something, they'll figure out a way how to do it.
That was certainly the case. It seems like in Nashville, people say, "Well, lock the doors," or "Those doors were locked and secure," but you get somebody with a weapon that's it's just a different deal. Has to be a frightening thing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Best of that. You've made every effort that I have seen to try to include everybody in this community in public education, as far as people that were homeschooling or other things, to bring them in if they want to be inside this public school umbrella. How is that going?
Yeah, it's going very well. We have an almost like a homeschool branch where we've opened our cyber school, and we've seen the enrollment in our cyber school, and students are doing successful. We just had a student who made a 33 on the ACT, who's a student at our JASA, which is our cyber school. And so we are always looking for ways and options and opportunities for our families to have choices. And I think that is so important, and that is what makes the school system strong, by providing those different choices and options for families. And I'm just fortunate to be in a community that supports public education, that's really committed to making sure that we get this right for our families.
Some would be skeptical of that analysis. They would say, well, Jackson doesn't support public schools. You say that we do.
I've been in 2 school systems. And I've been very fortunate to be here to see the support that this community has shown for the school system. And when you look around, and what's so unique is you look at leadership throughout this community. You look at Judge Little, who was a graduate of JCM. I mean, you look at General Pickens, who was a graduate of Northside. You look at Mayor Conger, it's graduate of Southside. Mayor Massey, graduate of JCM. You begin to look at leadership in this community, and you see these people who were part of the public school system. And that's very encouraging, because you don't often find that. But to see that and know that you have people who've been a part of this organization that truly really want to see this organization thrive and do great things. And so that's very encouraging. I can keep going on with our JEA CEO, Monty, who's a graduate of Southside. So you begin to look at that. You don't find that often. And I mean, so when you see that, you know that that's unique and that's a special place.
So there's a foundation here.
It's a foundation.
And to expand it. What do you want people to know about this school system?
I want people to know that we're not a perfect school system, but we're doing everything to get it right for kids. We invest in our employees, and when we don't get it right, I want people to tell us so that we can get it right, because we're here to serve this community, and we want this to be the best school system, not only in West Tennessee, but in all of Tennessee.
Right. We have, you've just opened up a new method of communication, right? I don't know what this is.
Let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk, okay?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I was emailing the other evening, and I got a let's talk chat from a parent.
Okay.
And I think it probably shocked him because I replied right back, and I was able to send it to someone. And that's one of the things I tell the team is, if we don't do anything right, let's get customer service right. And one of our core values is service. And I want to make sure that we hear families, that we hear our stakeholders, that we hear people. We may not always like what we hear, but we have to hear it. But we also have to be reflective and think what people are telling us. How do we make sure that we are addressing any concerns or any challenges, but also how are we celebrating successes also? So we want to know, and so that Let's Talk app, it is great. It's a dashboard to show you how long something has been sitting on someone's desk.
Okay.
So if this is in someone's inbox, we have 48 hours to respond. It goes on the dashboard. I get a chance to see the dashboard to see who's moving the dialogue to where we need to move it to, because I want to make sure we serve this community. If we don't do anything else, I think we owe the taxpayers a top-notch service as we work with families to improve outcomes for our students.
Okay. So it opens up direct communication for everybody.
And even for the board members. So if you have a comment for the board members,
okay,
you can send the dialogue to that board member, and that board member can answer or send it on to me, or send it to the next person. So
this is called a Let's Talk app.
It's a Let's Talk app. It's on our district website. So if you go on our website and see communication, as a matter of fact, if you pull the website up, you'll see on the side it says Let's Talk. And it's just like anything else. If you want to talk to us at any point, anytime, you can. We got another app coming out that's called All Here, and it's a texting app, and you can text us at 12 o'clock, and we will start getting messages, and we'll start moving the way we need to move, because what we want to do is make sure that we provide services to our families. And when we provide those services, I think that will continue to build confidence in the public and in our school system.
You seem to be optimistic about this.
Very, very optimistic. Very, very optimistic. I've seen some indicators that will show me that down the road, we're going to be extremely proud of what we've done as a community.
People say, well, but you're serious that we can be the best school system in Tennessee?
I have no doubt. Have no doubt.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, have no doubt. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. You're one of the first individuals I spoke to coming here. As I was doing my research, someone said, you might want to talk to Steve Bowers. And I said, I'm calling Steve Bowers on the phone, and I appreciate you and Pam. You all offered us dinner, and we the first family that we had a chance to break bread and fellowship with, and it meant a lot to us, and we still have the same friendship to this day. And so I'm grateful for the knowledge that you shared with me, because it has actually helped navigate what I've been navigating as a superintendent of the system.
Well, it's we're talking about community. It's a challenging thing because community is so different. I mean, they're so different. And I tell people all the time, at one time, if your child had Down syndrome or whatever, well, they didn't go to public school.
That's right.
They were not educable.
That's right.
Now, anybody.
That's right.
In any condition.
That's right.
Any capability background can go to school.
Can go to school.
Which is a great thing.
Yes. It's awesome.
Appreciate the work you're doing.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, and we appreciate the opportunity to talk with Dr. Marlon King and others. Stay with us here at E+ TV 6, because this is the place where the dialogue continues.